I wonder based on kind of what you were talking about prior, if there's a path forward with increasing. I mean, I think of just like the way that we fortified things in other foods for
Mm,
other
oh, yeah.
potential deficiencies that we've acquired
Yeah.
over the years. If like with an algae base
Yeah.
supplement, is there a path forward there to have
Yeah.
that like available in foods that people are gonna choose more willingly on their own so that, like,
Yeah.
say they grab the salad dressing that otherwise would give them a pretty high bolus of linoleic acid, now all of a sudden they have the counter with it there, or like you said before, let's get it into our maybe we move it into the food production at the animal base, so the animals
Yeah.
we're growing are also higher in that side of things.
Yeah. That's a really good question. So I think so EPA and DHA are consumed in low amounts, and the dietary recommendations are in hundreds of milligrams per day. Um, I think they're a bit low. They should be maybe a gram, 2 grams per day, but that is still low, and that is in the realm of many micronutrients. Okay, so although EPA and DHA are not, so micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. Although EPA and DHA are not micronutrients, actually we should treat them as if they were, because they're consumed in low amounts. And that's what micronutrients are. Macronutrients are consumed in large amounts. So, and of course, we fortify with many vitamins and minerals. So, I think the idea of fortifying with EPA and DHA is a really brilliant idea. And this could be a use of something like algal oil. Um, so, you could incorporate those fatty acids into foods that are commonly eaten, particularly foods where, let's say, where vegetable oils are used as part of the production and processing. You could replace part of that with an EPA and DHA source. So you could fortify commonly eaten foods to help people increase their intake, for sure. And we're actually very interested in research in that area, and that's the sort of thing we're trying to do. I mean, there is an issue, which is that EPA and DHA, because of the large number of double bonds, are much more prone to damage from light and from heat than other fatty acids. So you'd have to have some protective stuff in there as well. So that could be antioxidant vitamins, maybe vitamin E, for example. And but then you'd be delivering more vitamin E, which might also be a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think
You you
the idea of fortification with these fatty acids is a good one.
You're doing a fantastic job of, preempting my next question here, so I
Oh,
appreciate it. I was gonna ask you about that in general because it seems like, like, when I look at the arguments, online and elsewhere about just, like, the harms of seed oils or linoleic acid,
mm,
stuff that oftentimes comes up is, I guess different from the what we've been talking about so far, where there's like this kind of balance between omega 6s and omega 3s, and it kind of goes into this like higher propensity for linoleic acids to oxidize, or what some people will talk about is like the lag time
mm,
taken to oxidize. So you mentioned vitamin E or antioxidants and things like that. My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is like a seed oil will oxidize faster. It will have a shorter lag time, and that could potentially be problematic for something like cardiovascular disease.
yeah.
But
So
when we look at things like vitamin E or antioxidants in general, stuff you're going to be getting in like fruits and vegetables for the most part, the increase in lag time from that input versus the reduction in lag time from something like a linoleic acid is
yeah,
very much different, and it's kind of a trivial problem when you consider a diet that's actually including things that are high in things like vitamin E or antioxidants.
yeah, yeah. So we have to go back to the starting point, Zach, which is polyunsaturated fatty acids have double bonds in their chains. Okay,
Mhm.
and double bonds are the site for attack by what we call reactive oxygen species. So oxidative stress can damage these fatty acids, and these oxidatively damaged fatty acids are certainly not good for us. Okay, so that is a starting point. So DHA, with its, which I actually didn't say, DHA has 6 double bonds in its chain. DHA is very, very susceptible to damaging oxidation in the laboratory. Okay, now um, what you need to mitigate against that is antioxidant protection, and vitamin E is part of the antioxidant protective mechanisms. So, um, just as an example, omega 3 supplements always have vitamin E added to them. Okay. And that is to protect the supplement, but it's also to protect the person once they consume the supplement. Okay. Now, seed oils contain high levels of vitamin E because the seeds have to be protected against damaging effects of either heat or sunlight. Um, so seed oils contain more vitamin E than, well, animal fats, for example. Um, so nature has a way of helping to solve these challenges. So I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about linoleic acid and oxidative damage.